What's up guys, Josh Blunt here and welcome to my channel. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. As I talk about on this channel all the time, we face way too many obstacles when it comes to eating healthy or trying to establish a workout program that works for us, especially as a beginner. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the most common obstacles that we all face, especially as a beginner, and some of the easier approaches to get past them. So with that being said, let's dive in. Alright, so let's start with the elephant in the room, the thing that none of us want to admit, but all of us come across at some point, and that is a lack of motivation. This is a big one for most people, but it doesn't have to be. What we tend to do is we look at this massive hill, right? We have this end goal in mind, and we have no idea how to get there. Understandably, this can become overwhelming. We have an end goal. We should always have a direction. Are you trying to get ready for a wedding? Are you trying to get that beach body for the summer? Whatever your goal is, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, we all have an end goal and we want to get there. But once you have a direction, it's much easier to focus on the small wins. If your goal is to lose 30 pounds, don't focus on the 30 pounds. It is a direction. That's where we want to be eventually, but focus on 5 pounds. 5 pounds is less overwhelming and it's more attainable. If I were to ask you, could you lose 5 pounds? You would say, yeah, of course I can lose 5 pounds. If I were to ask you, could you lose 30 pounds? You'd be like, that's a little tougher, right? So instead of establishing these fears by focusing on the 30 pounds, focus on the 5 pounds because it's way more attainable and it's much less overwhelming. And once you've accomplished that small win, all you got to do is make another one and another one.
Tiny circles, Devin.
The point is, you're going to learn a lot from that first 5 pounds. Was it an effective approach? How difficult was it? Can you try something else? And is the next 5 pounds going to be easier? So the lesson is, it's much easier to motivate yourself if you're trying to lose 5 pounds rather than trying to lose 30. Use the 30 as a direction, as a long-term goal, but then focus on the small wins. All right, so the next obstacle that you're going to face is to plan for your willpower to fail. Let's face it, we are all human, right? And you cannot rely on willpower to get you all the way through. As I've said before, willpower is going against all internal forces to do what needs to be done. When your body and your mind are telling you no, yet you get it done anyways. This is exhausting and it can't be the only thing that you're relying on. When you go to the grocery store and you're hungry, you're way more likely to buy the junk food. Why? Because it's instant and it's rewarding. You get that salty and that sugary flavor right away, and I get it. It's also going to lack in nutrients and it's going to be much higher in calories. So instead, go to the grocery store on a full stomach, so then you're less likely to buy that junk food and you don't have to worry about your willpower taking over to help you through. Or maybe you're on a diet and you're headed out to the restaurant and you're assuming that they're going to have what you can eat, but maybe they don't. Therefore, you're going to order something that's against your diet plan and probably higher in calories, especially when the waiter is looking down on you and you're the last one to order and the pressure is on. I've been there. So instead of relying on your willpower to order something that is actually with your diet when the pressure is on, look at the menu ahead of time. Make sure the restaurant does have what you can actually eat, or call the restaurant, talk to the chef, talk to the manager, and see if they can't make you something that actually goes with your diet. I've worked at a restaurant before, and more often than not, they will. The point is, don't rely on your willpower to get you by. Plan for your willpower to fail from time to time and make sure that you're always prepared. Another obstacle that we all face is we don't have time to cook. Listen, I get it. Ordering Postmates or driving through the fast food line is going to be much easier and much quicker than making all of your meals from scratch. I'm with you 100%, not arguing that. But let's face it, it's important to understand that your goals aren't and shouldn't always be easy, right? Your goals are going to come with sacrifices at times, but that's how we know that they're worth it. But there are ways to make these sacrifices less painful. The best thing that you can do is to buy for convenience. I shop at Costco every single week, and almost everything that I buy requires very little effort to make. I buy brown rice and quinoa in a bag that all you have to do is put it in the microwave for 1 minute and 30 seconds, and there you go. You have a side dish. It's delicious, it's healthy, and it's very convenient. I don't want to hear any slack about the microwave. Almost every healthy person uses a microwave, so don't shy away from it, but it's very convenient. I also buy the rotisserie chicken, and all you have to do is pull the meat off the bone and you can add it to any dish. It's very convenient, and there's a lot of different protein options that are just as convenient. So it doesn't have to be just chicken. There's a lot of options to choose from. The point is, you can easily buy food in bulk and you can easily buy food for convenience. You can meal prep for the entire week. That's 2 to 3 hours in one day that you have to suffer making all of these meals, and then you have meals for the entire week and you don't have to waste any more time. And if you have a little extra money, you can also order from Green Chef or many of the other healthy delivery services that offer good quality, healthy meals right to your front door, right? There are so many different approaches nowadays that it makes not having time to cook more of an excuse than an actual reason. I'm not saying that people don't get busy, but it just takes finding the way that works for you and the realities in your life. The next obstacle is that you're always hungry. And I'll tell you this, if you're eating the right foods, then you wouldn't always be hungry. There are foods that physically make you full and satisfied, right? And we usually only want to eat until we're satisfied. And then your body is going to send your brain signals that you've consumed enough calories, and these foods aren't going to be that junk food that we're used to. These foods are going to be high in volume, so it can fill up your stomach, but also low in calories, so we're not consuming too many calories and gaining weight. Things like protein and fiber are going to digest much slower than carbs. So by adding in some fruits and some vegetables, some lean proteins, and even some healthy fats into your diet, this is going to help you to get full, feel full, and even stay full for longer periods of time. There are many different fruits to choose from that are going to be high in fiber and that can make for a great snack. There's also a lot of vegetables to choose from that are going to be high in fiber and that can be added to any dish. You can also choose things like popcorn, which is low in calories, high in fiber, that make for a great snack as well, as long as you're not drenching it in butter and added sugars. Surprisingly enough, there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to eating healthy. You might have to put in a little bit of effort now, but it's almost effortless, yet just as beneficial later. The key is to find something that works for you. Find things that you actually enjoy, yet are still low in calories, and trust me, there are plenty of them. All right, so another obstacle that we all face is that healthy food has no flavor. And believe it or not, this is 100% false. Some of us might think that healthy food is going to be that plain chicken and rice and then that floppy, soggy asparagus or something like that, but this is not what healthy food can be. You might have seen many dedicated lifters, and they're always eating the most basic and plain foods, and they're usually always eating the same thing as well. The reason is because when you think of food as fuel, it becomes more of a job than a source of enjoyment. It's just easier to eat the same thing all the time, and then you tend to lose passion for flavors, because when you're thinking about the goal, you want to get there with the least amount of resistance, right? We've talked about it before. When you're cooking all of your meals and you're trying to do something different, it becomes time consuming and a little bit more exhausting. So a lot of the times they just choose to eat the same thing all the time. They lack flavor, I get it, but that doesn't have to be you. You can easily make delicious meals that can be healthy and even low in calories, but like I say all the time, in order to get a little, you've got to be willing to give a little as well. What I mean by this is you're gonna have to put in a little bit of effort. You might have to look up some healthy recipes and go through more of a trial and error period to find something that you actually like. You might have to search a few different grocery stores and find something that is seasoned, healthy, and already put together. Food is always going to start off boring, but if you're willing to put in the time, the effort, and a little bit of creativity, then it can be much more than that. Now, we've all heard that eating healthy is going to be way too expensive, and this is going to be another obstacle that we face, but it doesn't have to be. This is going to require one thing and one thing only, and that is better choices. For me, when I break from my normal eating habits, that's when I spend way too much money. When I buy in bulk, I can buy in bulk, I can eat healthy, it's very convenient, it saves time, and with a little creativity, it adds a lot of flavor, right? All the things that we're looking for, I can make a meal for under $3 once you add up everything together. But when I go out to eat somewhere, even if I go to a cheap place, I still end up spending $5 to $10 on the low end. That's 2 to 4 times more than what I can just make for myself. Even if I go to fast food and I just get a sandwich, that's $3 to $5. That's still way more expensive just for a sandwich. So by saying that eating healthy is way more expensive, that's completely wrong as long as you know what to look for. And what if you end up with some sort of health condition because of the poor eating habits? To me, that's way more expensive than just eating healthy year round. And it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. I wouldn't recommend that for anybody. You definitely want to eat foods that you enjoy on a regular basis. You just have to make smarter and healthier choices the majority of the time. The point is, eating healthy does not have to empty your wallet. Buy in bulk, at least for a week. Meal prep to save time. Be creative to add flavor, and living a healthier lifestyle becomes much easier. All right, some final thoughts here. We all face obstacles, and many of these obstacles are going to come down to 2 things, which is a lack of experience and a lack of education, which is all of us in the beginning. but most struggles, especially when it comes to your fitness journey, can be broken down into smaller pieces so that these smaller pieces are easier to handle. Sometimes our own perception can be exactly what ends up holding us back. No obstacle can't be faced. No obstacle can't be overcome, as long as you have a strong enough reason to start in the first place. Alright guys, that is it for the video. If you enjoyed this kind of content, make sure you give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows to share it to other people, to bring value to other people. I do appreciate your support. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Make sure you check out those free ebooks that I have linked down below, as well as all of the equipment that I use on a daily basis to stay in shape year-round at home if you don't have a gym membership. So check out those links down below, and I will see you guys on the next video.